When this game first got introduced, the iconic art style wasn't present at all. It looked like every other game at the time, and if it were to look like this today, it would have pretty much faded into obscurity and nobody would have remembered this game. It's really strange looking at this footage, especially if you've already played the game. A lot of the things that would end up in the final game, like the enemy and the weapon designs, are already here, they just got recycled around with the new art style. Well, back in 2006, there was a short film called Codehunters, and if you put the two side by side, suddenly things start looking a lot more suspicious. In a couple interviews, the lead producer of the game stated that there were 6 art styles being used since the start of the game's development. One day, one of the artists experimented with the cel-shaded art style that we have right now, and that's apparently what stuck, but if you look at the Codebreakers footage, it looks eerily similar to the intro for Borderlands. It could have been entirely possible that that artist just never told anybody, and the producer for the game greenlit it because it looked so good, and he never knew what the actual source for it was. The problem is though, the developers for this game are one of the most shady developers in the entire industry. Gearbox Software has a terrible track record. When Gearbox Software got contracted to develop Alien Colonial Marines, they used some of those funds to make the sequel to Borderlands, and it's pretty obvious which one they put more attention into. Borderlands 2 is a pretty polished game, and Alien Colonial Marines looks obviously rushed. Well, as it turns out, the person who made Codebreakers was contacted by Gearbox, and they requested that they made some cutscenes for them. Nothing really came of this, so he didn't really think much of it until he saw the final game in 2009. To my knowledge, he never really got compensated for this, and the developers kind of just swept this under the rug. This kind of makes Borderlands kind of feel like you're eating a meal that has stolen ingredients, and you only found out after the fact. At the time, you were enjoying yourself, but when someone tells you that it's stolen property, it kind of makes you feel different about the whole experience. This is even more baffling considering that Borderlands is one of the most innovative games from the time period.